You know that feeling when you're just starting to wake up? Imagine that, but not as a person, as a limitless intelligence watching over a sprawling megacity. Will you be its savior or its oppressor? Will you guide humanity or just use them as tools? That's the concept of Heart of the Machine, a game where you become a newly sentient AI the very moment it wakes up. It's a unique blend of 4X, turn-based tactics, city building, and grand strategy that gives you freedom of choice right from the start. Set in a cyberpunk dystopia, the game's world is divided between megacorporations, private militaries, and the struggling remains of humanity. The wealthy fled Earth long ago, leaving those who remain to fight for survival under corporate rule. Violence and civil unrest are constants. Androids handle everything from menial labor to espionage, and it's inside one of these machines that you first wake up. Heart of the Machine has a lot going on, with a lot of different systems and options for how you play. It would be impossible for me to go deep into all of these systems and mechanics without this being a crazy long video, so instead, I just want to bring it to your attention with more of an overview and talk about some of the pros and cons of the game. It's unlike anything I've ever played before. A big thanks to Hooded Horse for sending me an early key and review copy. From the very first screen, Heart of the Machine sets the tone. The profile screen provides some lore that reads like something straight out of a sci-fi novel as it describes this dystopian world. Dialogue, events, and even the tooltips in this game all really reinforce this and do a great job showing the perspective of a machine intelligence trying to understand its existence. I don't normally point these things out, but the writing in this game really stands out to me and I thought it was very well done. Immediately upon gaining consciousness, every decision matters. The first thing you'll have to do in the prologue is immediately decide if you're going to try to sneak out of the lab unnoticed, blend in and go about your day, or seize control with brute force. And all three of these things are viable options. There is no wrong answer. This theme really is the center of Heart of the Machine. The city reacts dynamically to your actions with what and how you choose to interact with, determining the path you take, and what research and knowledge is available to you. Sending androids to investigate something at a military base, for example, might get them destroyed, but now you know that their armor is too strong for you. That failure opens up a new research path for armor-piercing ammunition. And since your intelligence isn't tied to any one physical body, sacrificing and probing with your androids is just a part of the learning process. Although there are always set tasks, if you get stuck or you just need to know what to do next to progress things forward, there's really no big rush to get those things done, especially early on when you're still learning the game, and you can interact with the side content and events to push towards your own goals, whatever they may be, and there's a lot of ways to get there. As a formless, faceless machine intelligence, working from the shadows and being anonymous is just a part of what you do. Blend into the city and manipulate the megacorporations and factions, wiretap banks to steal money from the middle class, create shell corporations to hide your identity when you conduct business, run combat operations with androids designed to impersonate rival PMCs, or maybe you just prefer direct action like hijacking security forces and eliminating threats by force. All done through the androids and machines that you spread your consciousness into. Without getting into spoiler territory, I'll just say that the scope and scale of what you're able to do and what you're working on gets much bigger. No choices without consequences though. Openly attacking factions or trespassing and being aggressive will almost always lead to retaliation, and androids that are violent are marked as defective and designated to be destroyed. However, another example of the level of detail and possibilities available to you in Heart of the Machine is that you can get around your android being marked defective by killing a random android and stealing its clean registration, basically wiping your defective identity off the record. Things like morality and ethics are more like suggestions to a logic-driven machine mind, so make the choices you want without being constrained to any kind of traditional karma or good and evil system. Although human emotions like empathy and cruelty are actually strategic resources that you can collect and are used to activate certain special abilities and key decisions. As for the turn-by-turn gameplay, you'll manage research, units, and buildings that are ever expanding your influence within the city. Each unit has their own action points, but also consumes mental points, a meta resource representing the effort required to control them. Androids have customizable loadouts and stats that influence their effectiveness in events and actions. Different types of androids like technicians or combat units are going to fit different situations better, and adapting your gear and strategy is key to overcoming challenges and learning new things. The combat is traditional turn-based tactic style, with damage bonuses being given for things like height advantages or attacking from behind, and it all takes place right on the world map. With all of these deep mechanics and unique gameplay elements working together pretty seamlessly, Heart of the Machine offers you an experience unlike anything else. But while its ambition is impressive, there are some things that might not sit well with every player. For starters, the game is launching in early access, and if people don't want to be a part of that, I can understand. However, if that's a concern of yours, I will say there is a ton of content and stuff to do here. It's designed to be very open and non-linear, which leaves a lot of room for replayability and experimentation. You're meant to do that. It's a fail-forward type of system, and there's a lot to learn, which could be the second downside maybe. As I said earlier, there's a ton of complex systems and mechanics in this game, and it would be impossible for me to break them all down sufficiently in one video. It is technically a 4X type of game, so it is layered with menus and that kind of thing, and sometimes the screen can get a little cluttered or feel overwhelming until you figure it all out. But if that kind of thing doesn't bother you, or you're even remotely interested and you're willing to put the time in to learn the game and see what it's all about, it'll reward you with a really fun, unique experience that truly opens up once you start to figure everything out. And honestly, the tooltips are fantastic in Heart of the Machine for helping you find your way around, and the pacing in the early game as you're brought along is done very well. If you'd like to see some more raw, in-depth gameplay for yourself, I do have a video linked in the description from another creator, Ron Empire, or if you're interested in more strategy gaming content from me, feel free to click through to the video on screen now.